General Peter Elweru bino twabimulabula teyawulira kuba yalowooza naye mwana wa General Museveni oba oliawo kubanga yayita wa Luganda ne General Museveni teyategeera nti nno ye akajja obunaku kemanya kati baamufubutudde mwabirabye baamugobye mu magye oli ajja gamba yawummudde ne okukuba kugoba bangi tebanakuwummuzibwa naye ye yawummudde kale bamumuwummuza naye nga tujja kukiyita kugobebwa kale bino twabimugambe ebbanga ddene nti b'okolera beweesibyeko b'olowooza nti bakwano bo nnyo b'otwala ng'abakabibo si banno tebakuliko tebakwetaaga they are just using you bakukozesa bukozesa olw'ebigendererwa byabwe teyawulira ate oluvannyuma lw'okumugoba Elweru atandise okufeesa bannayuganda be bazze bamugamba bulijjo atandise obi reflectinga back okubijjuka n'agamba babadde bulijjo baŋŋamba mbadde spaying attention mbadde sifaayo nga ndowooza ndi wakabi netuludde embunduuki akati embunduuki zikendeera kyekiddirira akomawo mu bannayuganda afuuke nayo mwana yinki afuuke muntu wa bulijjo nga takyali w'amagye olwokumpulirira embaga kalino ebigambo ebyo General Peter Elweru bulijjo by'ameesinga okutegeera naye kati ndowooza atandise okubiwulira tutandika ekigambo kino bwe tuti
I don't know if most of you followed the speech that General Peter Elweru gave during the handover ceremony where he was promoted to Deputy CDF.
Right.
That is Deputy Chief of Defense Forces. Now, the speech was very interesting to me, especially the words he used and what he said.
Okay.
Because whatever he said, he gave us the status of the army today as we see it. Because most people might think that everything is rosy, everything is well coordinated within the military. But there is something, happening within the military. And, Elweru being a person who cannot keep quiet or who says things the way they are, like we say, like honest, he put out the dirty linen of the UPDF out there to the public to see. Now, he spoke as a CDF, but you should know that he is a deputy CDF. What is interesting in these appointments is the fact that Colonel General Wilson Mbadi, who is the CDF, comes from a place called Kasese, where the Mumbere Palace, a king in Uganda, was attacked, and the person who attacked that Mumbere Palace was General Peter Elweru, who at the time was the commander of the land forces. Now, what is interesting is that the speech he gave during the handover ceremony was very interesting to me. And when you read between the lines, things are not really good in Uganda. And the fact that the general is crying about him being isolated is really interesting. Decrying that there is no teamwork in the army is really interesting. Now we're going to break that down, but first let us listen to General Elweru's speech during the handover ceremony. Like a few minutes.
We need to work as a team. There is nothing painful than when the enemy is on you and then the friendly force is also on you. The worst enemy is an enemy from within. The enemy out there is better than the enemy from within. And the enemy from within is lack of esprit de corps, is lack of comradeship, is lack of teamwork. At times we say we're a team. We say, oh, we're a team. We're doing what? We're working as a team. Yet there is a lot of pretense. It's just acting. Our new CDF, sir, I want genuine teamwork. Personally. I want that spirit which the NRA the National Resistance Army established in us the spirit of comradeship, spirit of undugu poinjo. When we used to share cigarettes, the whole platoon sharing one cigarette. That is the spirit I understood in NRA. And that is the spirit I believe in.
Yeah.
Spirit of comradeship. A spirit of love, loving one another. The word of God says, love is God Almighty. If you don't have love for one another, then you're a demon.
Yes. General Peter Elweru, you were a demon. Why? Because you don't have love for Ugandans. Remember the day you went to Kasese, not about more than 100 people were killed by you under your command. When you were a deputy CDF to General Katumba Wamala. You killed over 100 people. We are Ugandans, citizens of this country, taxpayers, who are the ones buying your uniform, buying you guns, buying you food, educating your children, making your wife happy, and making you happy. You killed them in a bloody daylight because you never had love for one another. Now you are preaching love for one another. Love for one another must be in the UPDF, among the men and women in uniform. It can't be between the men and women in uniform and the Mwanayenchi. There must be no love between one another. That love you're talking about must be only between the men and the women in uniform. But it can't be between men and women in uniform and the Mwanayenchi. That's why you kill us. That's why you terrify us. That's why we are your enemies. That's why you killed the people in Kasese. General Peter Elweru, you deserve what is happening to you right now because you thought you were a king somewhere. You thought you own this country, you own the gun, you own the military, you own the UPDF. You thought from being a deputy you're going to be CDF. From being in CDF you're going to be the president of this country. Now they are demoting you. They are putting you down where you deserve to be because you've finished your role of making them survive another year in power. Yes.
You're a demon.
You're a demon. Yeah, true.
I want us to promote, to work as a team, and a genuine team. A team that will keep this country safe. For the safety of this country. Peace in this country is all what we need for the next generations. Without it, we shall go nowhere. And it all lies in our hands. The men and women in uniform. It doesn't lie in the parliament or where. It lies with the men and women in uniform. Nothing less.
Oh, now I know. Boy, man. The comradeshipness, the love between one another must be between men and women in uniform because they are the one responsible for protecting this country. But without the taxpayer, what will they protect? Without our taxpayers' money, we provide to them to buy those uniforms, to pay their salaries, to pay for their trips, to buy them guns, to buy them trucks, to buy them missiles, to buy them bombs, tear gas. What will they use without we, the Mwanayenchi taxpayers? If they are the important one, the importantee, they're the more Elweru, because you are dwarf, you are an imbecile. Yeah, I can't take it back. Elweru is a retard. You're retarded, bro. The way you think of things, bro, it's so, the analog way, the 1880s, yeah, I'm saying it purpose-free. 1880s, yeah, those years, your memories stuck there. That's why you are a retard. And General Muhoozi and the family, General Museveni, bro, demoting you, chasing you away from the army, retiring you, you deserved it. Yeah.
So as inspector.
Okay. Now, I think you have heard for yourself.
Yeah.
Now, you as an individual, whether you're in the NRM or whether you're in the opposition, if you hear such words coming from a deputy CDF, what comes to your mind? For me, it is a situation that shows in Uganda, we have a group of people who are, we are in some sort of an environment where we have the us against them. And this is not, because the role of the UPDF is to protect Ugandans. It's to protect Ugandans from foreign invaders. I would really support the army, the UPDF, whatever the army, I would support it. If at all, it stands up against any foreign invasion. But when the army is used to trump and kill its own people, then I think it has overstepped its mandate. And I believe that it is overstepping, or it is doing, because no one has a right to kill his own people. Like, you cannot come and say that we are here to protect Ugandan borders, but you're protecting the borders from within, killing people.
Yeah.
Now, when I heard General's words, they were really concerning to me. He said that they have to work as a team, that there is no teamwork. Because when you call upon people to work as a team, it means there is no teamwork within the UPDF.
Yeah.
And what is fascinating about his speech, it was not reconciling.
Yeah.
It was not showing that Ugandans, we are all together. It was not showing that we don't have, we are all Ugandan, like, they are always preaching, like, oh, peace, let us, peace, peace, peace. We are all Ugandans, let us stand together, let us be together in this. No. They have no words of reconciliation, these people.
True that.
Everything of theirs is force, force, force. Kill, 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 and all those sorts of things, which is really, really very bad, especially in the times that we are living in today.
You know why? Always they have that in their minds. Kill, kill, kill. We are powerful. We are the best here. We are the owner of this country, because they came in with a gun. And we accepted them that way. Yeah. Even the years they have been here, they are using that gun to stay sitting on us, ruling over us, using the gun. And we are not getting up, standing up, rising up to say no to this nonsense. Because we, the Wananchi, the citizens of this nation, we are allowing them to do what they are doing right now. That's why they are still jubilating. Yo. But Jaita, Bewjanti Bakabi, yo. They think, what will you do? We have the gun. Yeah, we will use this gun to shoot you dead. What will you do? Where will you report us? Nowhere. But it's a way to stop them to get that power they have in the gun, to bring it back to the Wananchi, the youth, the citizens of this country must be the ones with power. Not the gun, but the citizens. And it's a way to stand up, to get up, and say, let's get back our power. Let's reclaim our power by standing up and chase the small clique, the family group, out of the power, and we get our power back. Then we give it somebody we trust now. Yeah, there are things will change. No one will come again in power and still utilizing the gun. Natandika okutuyisangamu amaaso fe abamuwa omusolo, fe abamubeeza bamugulira amata, abamusala enviiri. Natandika tuyisaamu amaaso. We need to get back our power. That's the only thing we must do. Nothing else. Yes. True.
So when General calls upon the military to work as a team, it is really funny.
Yeah.
Because he says that there is no teamwork. Meaning that is big problem. If there is no teamwork within the military, what causes lack of teamwork? Is it because some people are promoted and others are not? And some people have this misconception that whoever is in the UPDF supports Museveni or they support the government. Just like someone thinking that whoever is in the Uganda Police Force supports Museveni, or, you know, those kind of stereotypical narratives that people hold. That whenever you see an army man, he supports the NRM regime. No, it's not. Now, the lack of teamwork is really concerning for General. But I would like to assure General that there is teamwork. There is teamwork in the army. It depends on which cliques, meaning that they are it depends on which clique that you belong to. So if you belong to a particular clique of the Muhozis and all these elite guys, well, those ones get along well. There's teamwork. They will cover each other's asses. If you're not part of that circle, bro, they won't cover you. So the fact that the deputy CDF can say that there has not been teamwork in the army, the former commander of the land forces command is not saying that there is no teamwork in the army, that's really interesting. Which means that General Elweru has been sidelined. These people don't like him. Even if he is in this particular position as a commander of the land forces, meaning that he lacked support. But at times you have to ask yourself, if people are not supporting me, if there is no teamwork, if no one is willing to work with me or willing to cooperate me or willing to back me up, what is the problem? Is the problem with the people who are refusing to work with me, or is the problem with me? Now, Jemodero came to the limelight whenever he attacked the people of Kasese and left hundreds dead. No other military officers would like his name to be put alongside with the Elweru, especially with the murder of people.
Yeah.
Most of these military officers now know the repercussions of taking part in such massacres. They know the repercussions and how it holds them hostage, you know, with Museveni. Because by the time you commit an act, you are at the mercy of Museveni. That's why when he was starting this speech, he was there thanking Museveni, saying this and this and that. So he says that the biggest enemy is the enemy from within, and not the enemy out there is much better. Now, when you look at his speech and the words he was meaning, he wasn't meaning that there is an enemy outside Uganda. No, he meant the enemy from inside Uganda. That is the opposition. So for him, he thinks that he is fighting to protect the Museveni dynasty and all this kind of thing, and saying that okay, those people, we have some enemies from within who do not want to work with me, who do not want to back me up, who do not want to cooperate with me. I would ask General one question.
Yep.
Look here, mate. You just murdered people. Who would like to liaise with you after just murdering people? Who would like to come to your rescue after just murdering people?
Oh.
You know how fragile the Ugandan state has become under Museveni leadership. Museveni has played tribes against each other. He has played institutions against each other. He has played each and every one against each other, putting Uganda at a very, very huge time bomb, like it's almost a nuclear time bomb, something waiting to erupt. And it is really fascinating that by the time you ordered the attack of the Mumbere Palace, no one backed you. And now what is ironic is that they have put General Wilson Imbadi in charge of this, as the CDF, of which Wilson Imbadi comes from the same tribe that you attacked. Do you think he's happy? Did you mean Wilson Imbadi not supporting you? Is that what you meant, that you're not happy with it? Well, that's really interesting. So the lack of teamwork, the lack of comradeship, and the lack of the spirit of Ndugism, where they used to share cigarettes. He keeps on saying that the parliament is irrelevant in Uganda, that it is them, the army, that have any sort of relevance. I know we are going to have an external forces that is going to attack Uganda while these people are out here beating people just because they do not support Museveni. I like to tell Ugandans, and I would like to tell Elweru himself, you are not part of Museveni's plans. Museveni has crossed his own men, his own people. The Kazinis, the Mayombos, these people were much closer to Museveni than you are, General. Surely. I know you might make those statements and trying to work in the interest to appease Museveni, to show him that you're working so hard. Be very careful the way you work with Museveni, because we have seen these things happening. He's very cunning, he's very witty, he's very, he plays you here and there, gives you, elevates you. And then afterwards, when the world turns against you, and the time that you need him the most, that's when he will run away. Like a demon. The demon will trick you into committing, sins and doing all these sorts of things. And then after you're being caught stealing or fornicating, whatever, it runs away. It says, no. That was on your own conscience. It's not me. You have your own brain. You have your own mind. Even if you love Museveni so much, why do you think that people would get your words out more? Why are people always looking for your statement? Because they know you are going to trip. Because they know you are going to say things that are going to incriminate you in future. Things that people will look back on and say, we once had men like Elweru, and this is what they said. Times when you're given these positions, if I was in Museveni's regime, if the more I would be given positions, the more humble I would get. The more I would refrain from making public statements. Because you do not know what you're saying today is what it's going to lead to the following day. Especially when calamity strikes. Be very careful, Elweru. I'm just a civilian. Who am I? At least when you're making speeches, make speeches that are in regard to the UPDF mandate. I was happy when he spoke about issues of the UP in the army not being paid, and say that the people that they are protecting here in Uganda, they are the ones, the people in government, or they are the ones that are getting jobs and all this kind of stuff, but the people in the army are not even being paid. Yes, that is good. Then when you turn on people just because they don't support Museveni, and you say that, you need to have work with the military, you need teamwork in order to fulfill your ambitions. I don't know if you have presidential ambitions or whatever ambitions you have, but trust me, if push comes to shove, Mr. Elweru, you're not going to survive. Now, let me look at a few articles here that can relate to what Elweru was saying, that there is no teamwork, people don't want to work with him. People are saying, oh, I don't want to work with this one, I don't want to work with that one, in one way or the other. Now, if you look at a couple of these articles, someone says that killed Kasese people deserved death, Elweru. This is after he was sworn in as the member of parliament representing the UPDF. The commander of the land forces, General Peter Elweru, has praised himself for returning this to Rwenzori region following the 2016 operation that left hundreds dead. General Elweru was speaking to journalists on the sidelines of the parliamentary ceremony. He said, quote, "The ICC set me free. What are you talking about? Those were criminals and they deserved death. Kasese is peaceful because of my judgment." General Elweru responded when asked about his role in the palace attack. Elweru, who now holds the second highest rank in the army, is one of the 10 members of parliament representing UPDF in the 11th parliament. Now, what is funny is that when you see people like, what's his name? Elutumine crying, man, if I'm Elweru, if I'm Mayanja, if I'm Katumba Amara, me, I would just keep quiet. In fact, I would even ask for retirement. But I don't know what is really happening. The other issue that was funny is this. By the time Elweru attacked the palace in Kasese in 2016, the CDF at the time was General Katumba Wamala.
Yeah.
Katumba Wamala, you know very well, recently survived an assassination. Now, Katumba Wamala, it is said that he did not order the attack of the Mumbai palace. Elweru carried out the attack without the knowledge of the CDF. I think that tells you everything that you need to know. Now, this is the issue. MPs ask question, CDF absent role in Kasese attacks. According to sources who attended the meeting, Katumba Wamala, okay. The Chief of Defense Forces, Katumba Wamala's role in the Kasese attacks Kasese clashes has raised eyebrows amongst MPs. This is after the revelation that Katumba Wamala was in Kampala at the time when the joint security forces attacked the palace of King Charles Wesley Mumbere on November 27th. The attack stemmed from failed negotiations between the Mumbere and the security forces who wanted him to disarm his royal guards and surrender to the police. Now, according to sources who attended the meeting between Katumba, State Minister of Defense, Colonel Charles Okello Engola, and the MPs on the Defense and Internal Affairs Committee, the CDF, reportedly said he was in Kampala when the offensive was launched, adding that he only communicated to those on ground on phone. A number of legislators are said to have questioned the CDF whether he had been sidelined in the operation, a claim he reportedly dismissed. CDF is the head of the Defense Forces and is responsible for the command control administration of the UPDF. He is also the chief military advisor to President, who is the commander-in-chief. Katumba is also quoted to have told legislators that the army followed orders from the commander-in-chief, not the CDF. The commander-in-chief is the president. After King Mumbere defied attempts to have his royal guards surrender. Okay, now, guys, tell me. You think Katumba Wamala was forgiven for that statement? The committee also met Internal Affairs Minister J.J. Odong in the afternoon, where he revealed that a number of the dead stood at blah, 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 and so on and so forth. Now, Katumba was asked, were you sidelined from the operation? Well, he denied that. But of course, he was being strategic. But then, later, he says that, look here, guys, what happened in Kasese, I was not the one giving the orders. The commander who carried out the operation, in this case, General, received commands or orders directly from the commander-in-chief, who was Museveni at the time. So now Elweru goes ahead. The people of Kasese, they take him to ICC, blah, 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 blah. He's haunted all over the place. He goes to churches, he's quoting the Bible, and he has read more Bible now than ever, praying for divine intervention and all this kind of stuff. Every military person forsake him, like they had forsaken him. They all left, even his friends. Within the military, no one came to his rescue and to protect him. And that's why he said there is no teamwork. I don't know, when he said there is no teamwork, it meant that the CDF did not back him up during the operations in Kasese. But we should also understand that the person who gave him the orders was the commander-in-chief. So he received the backing that he needed, given the people who actually gave him the orders. Now, recently, Katumba Wamala survived an assassination. And we haven't seen the deputy CDF, this gentleman, Elweru, coming out and giving a word or two against the attempted assassination of Katumba Wamala. Is that the spirit of teamwork that he talks about? It's really interesting. Now, for me, that's what I saw, and that's what I think it's really it was eye-catching to me, and the words he spoke. You guys can go on that YouTube channel, I think it's called Ben Live, and you can watch the entire speech that he gave. It was really interesting. And for me, I said, Elweru is not going to last in this position for very long. He's likely maybe to be made the CDF, and Muhoozi is likely to become the deputy CDF. Anyway, what I believe is this. What is likely to happen is that Muhoozi is likely to jump CDF, and Elweru might still remain the deputy CDF, because Museveni needs a railroad, or he needs someone from the north to remain in that position, which is really interesting. But we shall watch the situation and see. But what this shows in the army is that not everyone is happy on the situation in the country. Not everyone is pro-Museveni in the army, and it seems to be a very much bigger problem than we initially thought it was. Have a blessed one.
And you know, me, I'm quite happy, because this is gonna show those men and women in uniform who thought they are pro-Museveni and Museveni loves them too much, even the son, who are fighting for them to be in power, to stay in power forever. Now they are going to understand, oh, Those guys we are fighting for, they are not fighting for us. This is too beautiful. Nchagadde nnyo era nkyabyagala bigende nga babikolera ddala bali paka lwe banazukka obwongo bwabwe naye ne bano abantu bano batugamba tubakolere naye tukolera bo tebatukolera. Okitegedde balina okwongera okumanya n'okuzuuka obwongo kale bw'onogatta obwongo bwabwe n'Abannayuganda nitumanya nti no bano bakyamu. We have to put a government efaayo ku bantu bonna. Things will happen. Yeah. Ojja kulaba gye n'Omuseveni n'omutabani omukyala n'abaana abakoddomi ye nabo bapulo bonna nga bavuddewo ensi yaffe tudde mu tweyagali mu Uganda yaffe. And we must do that. We do it today. If not, then when? It's we to do it. If not us, then who? Yeah. Ekyo mulina okukirowooza nno tulina okutereeza eggwanga. Ffe bonna abadde balowooza nno bali bakolera nnyo bali babawaane babasuute tebalina kye bakwetaaza. They wanna use you and after they drop you. Yes. Bakwesanga kapiira. Emirimu gyabwe